So yeah, we're talking about the movie of the year, you know,
Super Mario Brothers.
the movie everybody's talking about. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, where's our keyboards? And
It's still a surreal feeling to see, like, I still feel the old Super Mario Brothers movie is a fever dream.
Right, yeah. Did I imagine that?
Did I imagine it? So it's like, you can't believe it.
Yeah, it just maybe didn't compute for Nintendo that, like, what they're sitting on, because I feel like the demand for this has been huge. Like, that there have been multiple generations that have, like, lived, you know, their entire life with Mario. Like, and spending, you think about the amount of hours you spend with that guy, you know?
So many.
And so the fact that, like, there was only one movie, and it was a movie that was very, like, off-model, you know? And that was it for, like, decades and decades and decades. When this movie comes along, it's, like, feeding this, like, hunger that's just basically building and building. And again, it's not like Mario is just like one generation's thing, you know?
It's so, like, limited edition. Still, like, the games, it's still, it feels like when a game is released, it's still special.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, they're very selective with the usage of the properties.
Disney was like a big model to them. And Disney, for the longest time, it's like, you know, Snow White is going back in the vault.
All the Disney
vault, you know, and
the
then,
Mario vault.
So, like, we finally got, you know, like, and again, that's, I did that video about the Mario comic that I made.
Perfect comic. Love that.
Thanks.
That's so good.
Well, when I created that, it was kind of, to me, feeding, like a hunger that I had, and I felt that, you know, there were probably a lot of other people, too, of wanting to know, like, okay, what's the story of this Mario guy? We're catching glimpses of it in these, you know, various games, but what story is this, you know, series of games and all these interactions we've had with this character? What story is it telling us? I'm trying to figure that out. And so, like, just sort of like the power of cinema, because like Nintendo is not a movie studio, you know, up until now, you know, it's like Marvel is now a movie studio, like, but. So, like, cinema has a power, and it's like a game is, like, I have so much respect for the art of cinema, and I have so much respect for the art of video games, you know, creating video games. And, you know, video games have a way of sort of telling a story, but then, like, movies, it's kind of like it, like, sets it in stone, where it's like, okay, here is the story. So, like, yeah, like, it felt very satisfying to, like, finally get that, you know?
Definitely. There's so many things that, like, with the game, obviously, and then, like, the 90s movie, your comic, and this movie, it feels like I love the gritty ass, like, it's tapping into, like, the gritty the Scorsese element. And what I love too is, like, of course, in your comic, going also with, like, Mario having the huge family in the movie we saw. The Catholicism element.
Right, yeah.
It's like that goes back to Scorsese's, like, obsession with Catholic. And I was like, this is fucking, like, it's all coming together and, like, this satisfying, like
that movie, the Super Mario movie, like, it was good. You know, like, it was good. We enjoyed it. We laughed at the jokes, had fun. The action stuff was fun. But, like, it wasn't the greatest movie ever made or anything, but, like, the crowd was so into
hot crowd.
It. We were into it, and it is, like, it just had it you know, they executed it well. It was well executed, but it's just like so much of what makes it work is what's going on in your, like, what you're bringing with you there, and everybody's bringing a lot with them there, you know.
Because it's like you have decades and decades of time with Mario and Luigi. What I love too is there was another Mario elephant in the room that, going back to your comic and this movie, they focus on the mustache.
Right.
How is, you know, when he zeroed in on, like, in the movie he's, like, yanking on Luigi's mustache. It's like finally somebody's fucking zeroing in on this.
Yeah.
And your comic.
Yeah, his mom's giving him a hard time about the mustache.
We talked about which I can never. My brain's rotting. Which game did Mario do his heel turn in the arcade?
Oh, Donkey Kong Jr.
So you have Mario giving his little bit of, like, you know, butting heads with DK.
Donkey Kong. Yeah, I'm glad they included Donkey Kong. Part of it. Yeah.
this man.
Yeah, I just met a gorilla man. It just gave us some kind of story because again, like you had like the Mario Brothers Super Show, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, where like they get sucked down a drain and then that's how they end up in the Mushroom Kingdom. But like, yeah, I wanted some kind of story that tells me how this guy, you know, who's working on the pipes with his brother, like how he gets from there to this like weird psychedelic kingdom and so, and I didn't need much, you know, and you know
there were so many Easter eggs.
Yeah, a lot of Easter eggs. And so like Sebastian Maniscalco's character, hey Mario, he was from the game Wrecking Crew. I don't know if you ever played Wrecking Crew, one of those early NES games, like pre Super Mario Brothers, where you're just you have a timer and you have to like destroy a building within that time.
I remember that one, but there was another game you had mentioned that I can't.
Well, there's Mario's Cement Factory.
That was at Sideshow Pizza.
Okay.
It was Root Beer Tapper.
Root Beer Tapper.
I've never played. I'm like, how did I not play Root Beer Tapper?
It was originally called Tapper, and I think it was like they had like a licensing deal with Miller Lite. So it was like, you know, or Miller, or it was some kind of like real beer company, you know, endorsed it or whatever. It was like, you know, it was on so it was called Tapper, and it had like, you know, some beer company. I think it was Miller, and so he's serving beer and stuff. But then like when that deal ran its course, then it just became Root Beer Tapper, and when it ended up on like the NES and stuff, you know, he's not slinging beer. It became Root Beer Tapper. But yeah, he's this little guy with the hair parted down the middle and a little mustache. Yeah, it's a fun game too.
Shit.
Great graphics for the time. But yeah, there's like lines of people coming in the bar. And beautiful graphics, like cartoony graphics. Every customer looks different, and they're all like assholes. And you got to just keep slinging mugs of beer at them. And the game, like the controls was like a little tap.
Oh, that's so fun.
So you pull the tap to fill it up, and you move up and down to like get to the different bar and just like sling the beer at them, and then they'd leave, but like more people are coming. You have to serve it as fast as you can.
I love it. I meant to look up what the game looked like. I'm gonna check that out.
It's a beautiful game, and then you sling them the beer, and then they sling the empty glass back to you. So then you also have to catch the empty glass before it hits the ground. A lot of fun. They had a lot of like Nintendo Easter eggs, where I would have preferred like, I think there's enough Mario material that you can just stay within Marioverse. Like, because Wrecking Crew, you could make the argument that character in Wrecking Crew is Mario. So like you could, you know, but and I guess like Punch Out, because like Mario is like the referee in Punch Out and stuff. Like
about that.
they and then in the arcade they had a game called Jumpman.
Yeah.
And it was basically Donkey Kong, but like because, you know, Donkey Kong is like a real figure in this movie, they replaced it with, it was like some kind of alien or something, and it wasn't Mario. And then the guy playing it looked kind of like the Mario from that game.
And then in the restaurant there was like Little Mac on the wall.
Yeah.
And Glass Joe.
Glass Joe, yeah.
And I felt whenever they were behind those cages doing like a side scroller, like a little Super Mario World like nod.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the CGI looked it was really nice animation.
Yeah, I mean it was it worked in the ways that mattered. It was, you know, it was funny. It had and it was very tight. Like you know, animated movies tend to be shorter to begin with, so it got you in and out pretty quick. Like I would have been fine with a you know, sloppily edited, you know, sort of like a lavish movie that is made like Dino De Laurentiis's Super Mario Brothers, you know, because I just want to relish that world, you know.
Me too.
And that was like another thing, like the design for the world. You got, like, again, I can't second guess anybody's decisions on this, because I understand, like, you're making a movie and you're figuring stuff out and you're trying this and you're trying that, and you make the best decision you can that works for the movie. But like the aesthetic of the world, I wanted a more like Mario specific looking world. You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly
when you're playing, like, if you're playing like Super Mario Galaxy or you know, one of the 3DS Mario games or something, like Mario, it's got a naturalism, like a cartoony naturalism, but then it's got this like geometry to
Yes.
it. And I feel like, and there were like little parts and places where they nodded to that geometry, but then there were also, you know, most of the landscapes and things were just sort of like stylized
I totally know
realism, where I wanted like, you know, Mario as far as the eye could see. You look in every direction and you're seeing these sort of squarish, rounded
Bricks.
off at the corner little mountains. And like, yeah, bricks. And, like, I wanted to just be immersed in like the world of Mario. And there were sections of this world, like, and again, like, I the latest games that I've played were like the Super Mario Galaxy games. I haven't played Super Mario Odyssey. So, and I know Super Mario Odyssey is much more like naturalistic.
Oh yeah, and
So I don't know if this kind of, you know, meshed with that aesthetic.
the you said you got a new.
Oh yeah, after I saw the movie, the next day I bought a 3DS because there's like a bunch of like Mario games on the 3DS. So I got Super Mario 2 on the 3DS, which is like so much fun. It doesn't take as much advantage of the 3D as I had hoped. Like, it definitely has like a 3D element to it, but it's cosmetic. Like, it's like, at least as far as I've gotten. I haven't gotten to a point where like all of a sudden you're like doing depth. Like, it's a side to side kind of thing, which I knew it was going to be side to side, but I thought there'd be some kind of like depth element where maybe, you know, you go into the background for a little bit and then come back to the foreground. Nothing like that's happened yet. But then I also got Super Mario 3D Land, which it's kind of like Super Mario Galaxy. It's these like 3D environments, but on the 3DS, it's like so cool. And a lot of stuff, like there were these like bug characters that were in the movie that I did not recognize, and they were in this Super Mario 3D Land. And then the Super Mario Legos seem like they're kind of based on like the Super Mario 3D Land aesthetic too. So again, even like the Legos, like I was hoping for more of that because the Legos, you know, I was hoping for more of that aesthetic. And I understand, like, you know, I mean, there's still room for me to do my Mario, you know what I mean? But like, I understand, like I could imagine them working on this movie and maybe making a version, kind of starting to make a version like that and being like, you know what, this isn't quite working cinematically. We need to make it, you know, and then thinking about keeping it current. And then also, you know, Shigeru Miyamoto is one of the producers. He's involved. And from what I've been hearing is that he's like becoming less involved in like the game making level and more involved in these sort of other ventures. So like he was very involved in the in the theme park.
Oh my gosh!
Which I need to be there yesterday. Yeah,
the food stuffs from there looks incredible.
Yeah, and again, like, and he also worked on the movie. So, and then there's like a new game coming out that, you know, it's synergy, baby. But like they had they had Toad as like a chef in this, you know, also known as Kinopio. He's called Kinopio in Japan, but they have him as a chef, and it's like, oh, this is for the theme park, because the theme park, the restaurant is Toad's kitchen, so it's like, okay.
God.
And then there was like a section of the movie, like a section of sort of like the kingdom, you know, where it was like, you know, 1-to-1 with the theme park, you know, because like the theme park, the little courtyard you go in where it looks like you're in the middle of like Super Mario's world.
They go even more synergy. It's like you have the game, but you can only unlock a level when you go to the theme park.
Right, yeah.
Or
yeah.
Mario World UK. It's like you get Toad's spotted dick.
Matt, you're a day too late, because like all this stuff already, they've already done all this stuff. And so then like one of the things in the movie, they have like, you know, Mario gets like the cat suit, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, because they're not like resting on their laurels. They're not like, oh, we're gonna introduce new stuff. But it's like, oh, the cat suit is like the feature in the upcoming Super Mario game. That like yellow cat suit that he puts on.
Because I was like, I didn't recognize it.
Yeah,
I was like,
because
I missed something.
Exactly, because like the 3DS, playing these 3DS games, it's like, oh yeah, there's a couple things that were in the movie that I had missed because I never, you know, played those before.
And I was like, if he's not in that raccoon suit, we riot.
Right? Yeah, yeah. He did eventually get the raccoons. Like there's so much Mario history to draw on. You know, there's so much there, and they didn't touch all of it, but it's like, you know, hopefully there's more to come.
This can't be the last one.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes with these movies, in like the first installment, they kind of go like middle of the road to try to like please everybody, which I think is the thinking behind that aesthetic, where it leaned more towards the naturalistic and away from like the specifically Mario. But sometimes it's like they start in some of these series, they start there, but then as the series goes on and they kind of feel
feel themselves
a little more, they start going like all in, you know, like I feel like some of the Marvel movies have done that.
Yes.
Superhero movies in general, you know, they're kind of testing the waters, like, and then by the time they got to like the first Captain America, it's like you're seeing like the real like
one.
blues and reds, you know, like a real like
I can't wait till we cover
color.
them.
Yeah.
It's like, make another Mario already.
Yeah.
Why do?
Yeah, exactly. We need because we need, and again, there's like 2 or 3 generations of Mario fans who are now adults.
Yeah.
You know, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show doesn't cut it. You know, those little assorted Mario cartoons that we've had over the years, they don't cut it. The 90s Mario movie doesn't cut it. But now we're like, give us something that's like somewhere in between that. Like what they started with here is a great start. So let's you know, open the floodgates.
Fire it up.
I hope it's a huge hit. I imagine it is. Like, we had like a bigger than normal crowd. Usually when we go to these movies, it's like, it's not, you know, they had a bigger than usual crowd. They were super into it. I think there's going to be like good word of mouth on it. So I want more Mario, and I want it to go, you know, go more like pure Mario.
They got the you know, one of the best or the most well-known Italians in Hollywood, Chris Pratt.
Well, that's one thing I thought, like, because like people were complaining about when the trailers were coming out, and it was like, hey, how come Mario's not saying it's like, how come he's just, you know, talking in this sort of flat affect? Where's his accent? But I was like, you know what? We need to leave that, like, you know, it feels a little weird. Like, Mamma mia, Papa Pia, baby, went diarrhea. You know, like, you know, like, we need to leave that in the past a little bit. So I was like, no, this is, you can't have, you know, like, it's been going on way too long. Holy spaghetti and meatballs, you know, like, holy spaghetti and meatballs. Like, I get a little bit angry when I watch the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and he's like, holy ravioli, and it's holy lasagna.
Bowser kicked me in the meatballs.
All right.
I got my rigatoni caught in my zipper, Luigi.
Exactly. Like I never heard like an Italian American say, you know, holy ravioli.
Chris Pratt. He's like, it's a me, Chris Pratt.
But then, so that's in the trailer. But then when you see the actual movie, they do have all that stuff, and like they bring it in. You know, it's like they bring it in as like, you know, Mario putting on a little, you know, like a little affect, and then when you meet his family and stuff, they're doing all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
there's abundanza,
the grappa,
marron.
They even had the checkered tablecloth on their table. Is what I was like trying to. He's like the grappa. We need another live action Super Mario Brothers.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
so bad.
Keep it kind of like. You know, the way they have all these like overlapping, you know, Batman movies and stuff like that. Like, I want overlapping Mario, where it's like too much. I want too much Mario. They should have gotten Sebastian Maniscalco probably auditioned for Mario, and as like a consolation prize, like, we'll create this character for you. You know,
they're like,
hey, Luigi,
you don't got a rigatoni, you got a little elbow macaroni.
Luigi, what? Do you see these guys with their flip-flap sandals? What? These guys, they got toenails. Have you seen these guys' feet? Have you seen these guys' feet? They got toenails that can cut prosciutto. They got toenails that can...
He's like, the guy broke...
Parmesan.
He's broke his fucking neck, and he kept coming. He cracked him over the fucking head with a baseball bat. The guy's out of his mind.
Yeah, Luigi, don't touch that. That's for company. We got company coming over. That's for That's not for you. That's for company.
Open up that bottle of vino while you're at it. I'm gonna... He's like...
We got the Enemans pastries. They're not for you. They're for company.
He's like, here, why don't you have some walking around money? You put the big bills on the outside, Luigi.
All the guys who've been out of work since The Sopranos went off the air are all lining up for the Mario movie.
I can see them all in my mind's eye.
Yeah.
I can see him on my mind's eye, like in Goodfellas when he comes into the bar, that tiki bar, and everyone's saying hello to him. It's like all those guys.
You know, the lineup of guys auditioning to play Mario. It's like a line of like all those character actors, all like, "It's a me, Mario." They're all saying it in unison.
Jimmy Van, or it's like little Steven Van Sant.
Steven Van Sant as Mario.
Big pussy.
Yeah.
He's like,
Ray Liotta's first posthumous performance as Mario. And all my life, all I ever wanted to be was a plumber.
Luigi's like, "You're pretty funny, Mario." And he's
yes, Joe Pesci as Luigi.
Dance that drink over to me, Toad.
Yeah.
Dance that drink over to me, Toad.
Dance that drink over to me, Pinocchio. Pinocchio, let's see a little step. Let's see a little step. I got a date lined up. Princess Peach and Princess Toadstool. Princess Daisy and Princess Peach. These girls. This could be a big score for you, Mario.
Dance that drink over to me, Pinocchio. I had you for a second.
He may fold under questioning. That's
Mario.
when Bowser has as Luigi. He may fold under questioning.
Everybody gets pinched, Kenobio.
I wish
you did good.
I wish I was big just once. Just once. I'll pull your mustache out of your face. You see how you like it, you motherfucker.
They got a Goomba in the back of one of their Mario Karts, and they open it, and he's stabbing him with a knife. He's like, "You son of a bitch!" There's Koopa
I guess we got to bring up Jack Black as Bowser,
Yes.
King of the Koopas. That was good casting.
Great casting. Like,
and of course he had to do some musical improvisations.
You had a piano prominently featured in yours.
Yeah.
Before this
Right
movie.
before this movie, yeah, I was on the right track.
That's like. I liked yours better. You
Okay.
had the notes, the floating notes.
Well, yeah,
and I was
this was like they were doing like a Mario crowd pleaser, where I was doing like Mario high art. I was trying to do like
great.
Mario as masterpiece Mario, Recall Piece Theater Mario.
And he's like, pages and pages.
And this was a crowd pleaser. This was, the people were into it.
The crowd was popping during this movie.
I would have liked more Luigi, and I think the audience wants more Luigi.
Definitely.
And maybe the filmmakers would say, no, you got the exact right amount of Luigi. But I'd like more. I would have liked Luigi. Like, I like the structure of Empire Strikes Back. I would like Luigi and Mario to be on parallel adventures where like it was a great start when Luigi and Mario split up. It's a great start. He ends up in this like spooky area, perfect because that's Luigi's corner. That's Luigi's purview. His little sub-universe is this spooky universe, and there's skeletons. He goes into the mansion and then sees those like screen face guys, Shy Guys. And it's like, yes, we're onto it. And then from there he gets put in a cage and basically spends like the rest of the movie in a cage. Yeah, so that was a bummer. I would have liked a little more of like Luigi on his little side story.
We got to see more. I have a feeling we'll see some more.
Yeah,
Luigi.
cinematically, these companies are sort of playing it safe. They're not like the largesse that we used to see like before Star Wars started to kind of like lose some steam cinematically. In box office, at least, like the box office they're looking for, like, and then it was like all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're not making Star Wars movies anymore. Although they just recently announced there's going to be some Star Wars movies, and like Daisy Ridley is going to be back as Rey. So
cool. Can't wait to check
those
out.
So like maybe they'll start doing a Luigi, get his own the Luigi's Haunted Mansion movie. But like I get so fooled because when that Star Wars movie came out, that most recent Star Wars movie, we were like bummed because it was like, wow, it's the end of Star Wars. Like Star Wars is done. There's no more Star Wars. We were like, we bought it, and then it's like, oh no, Rey's back. I'm sure they're working on getting Adam Driver to agree to come back. It's like, hey, "Hey, I'm back." You know, you know, like they just got like his career's going real well. Like he does.
I hope he doesn't big time it.
Yeah.
Get him in there.
I mean, you know, they could have Kylo Ren come back, and it's just, you know, he's got the mask on full time. You know,
or somebody else plays him. It's like, what?
They could get Austin Butler to play Kylo Ren in the new.
For some reason, he's locked into his Elvis performance, and he can't shake it. So he's now playing Kylo Ren like Elvis. He's like, he keeps doing this. And he's like,
he's on the toilet eating that like instant loaf that Ray makes. He's got like a giant instant loaf.
He's eating the stuff from Yoda's hut, like Yoda's food.
I like Luke has those like Kit Kats that he brought with him. Those like Kit Kats those wafer cookies or whatever. And then Yoda takes one and takes a bite, and then Luke gets it back and he smells it and gets like this disgusting look on his face and throws it. It's like, what does Yoda's spittle smell like?
They're like, at the dentist, they're like, your halitosis is Yoda level. It's like the needle goes. Yeah, God, I love that. He's like, yeah, he's on the toilet eating that. But he keeps ruining the shots because he's like, oh, he has TCB. It's like
taking care of Ben. They fit in Donkey Kong Country, Mario Kart, Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong Jr. You know,
they play tennis at any point in there.
That's a good question. And the music was really good because again, like you have such a history of music you can draw on for a Mario movie. The one song I didn't hear that I was surprised was the desert theme from Super Mario Land.
Yeah.
That went do 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 do. They didn't have that like, and that was I was surprised like that made an appearance in the Super Mario app, like the Mario Run. That was in there, and I was pleasantly surprised by it being in there. And I was like, I always loved that song on like the Game Boy Super Mario Land. I always loved that song, and I'm so glad that like Nintendo is aware that like that's like a beloved little song that like
so good.
You know the fans are into, and so I thought it was going to show up in here. I don't remember it being in there. There was a sequence where they were going through a desert and there were some pyramids in the background. I don't remember hearing it there. Maybe I just missed it. But
I didn't hear it either.
Yeah.
And then I love when they had the map, like it looked like a map, like
made out of like Legos or something. Yeah,
that was so cool.
Yeah, lots of cool little things. There were some props. You know, it's a CGI movie, but there were some props that I would like to get. Like there was like a poster of like all the little islands and things.
Yeah, and then the I swore at some point it felt like they used like a live action background early in the movie, like a couple times, and had the CGI elements like on top of it. I can't tell what's real anymore. You
know, the big like, I think the thing that kicked Nintendo's ass into being like, okay, we got to put out a movie was like the Sonic movies, because the Sonic the Hedgehog movies have been like, you know, pretty popular movies. You know, kind of like a new generation is kind of like learning about the character and falling in love with it, and like it's got to be killing Nintendo to be like, wait, how
did they beat us?
We got to show them. Yeah, we got to show them how it's done, and so that's why I think some of the things in it felt like I think pushing it towards naturalism away from like the video game look of the world was kind of a way of kind of like competing with the Sonic.
Okay.
And then having portions of it take place in the real world, like
that makes
kind of that's like Sonic as well.
Did Man-at-Arms ever have a mustache?
Man-at-Arms, the toy, did not have a mustache. He did have a very like fat flesh on his upper lip, but I don't think the intent was ever for a mustache. Like I don't, as far as I can tell, there's no mustache on the initial drawings or anything like that. It was the cart. So the toys came out, they were there. The booklets were there. No mustache, no mustache, no mustache. And then the show premieres, and he's got a mustache.
Okay, like that's what I was thinking of, because it's like Mario. They take his mustache away.
Yeah.
And they're like, release the mustache cut. Like I couldn't remember what came like. Yeah. I was appreciating. You gotta have the mustache.
Yeah, like there was that the Justice League movie where they had all the shots where they had to digitally remove Superman's Henry Cavill's mustache.
Like, release the Mario mustache cut. They're like, Mario can't have a mustache.
Yeah, our focus group said Mario can't have a mustache.
I love when he's like yanking on Luigi's mustache.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of the most that's like the most memorable part of the movie was him. You know, like the best scene is between Bowser and Luigi. It is like I was seeing like them pulling. It was interesting seeing them pull from different things because there have been like Mario comics, and there was like a Mario comic running in the Nintendo Power. There've been some like Mario comics and stuff, and there's a bunch of like Mario manga and stuff. So and I did see like elements from some of them being pulled into there, so that was interesting.
That's awesome, Tom. What a great time in the movies.
Yeah, it was fun.
And hopefully we'll see some more Mario.
Yeah, there's a lot to pull from. There's the whole world of like the NES Super Mario 2 that they haven't even scratched the surface, and then the Super Mario Galaxy. There were a couple like Super Mario, like they were kind of cherry picking. Like that would be a lot of fun. Again, like I mean, I've tried my hand at working on a Mario thing. It would be very fun to work on like an official Mario, comic or like or some kind of story. Yeah, and just be able because it's like you got this great world. You can cherry pick like all the best stuff from.
Tom, your Mario comic is like is spectacular.
Oh, thanks.
I love it.
Thanks.
What a great feel! Like I love everything about it. Cool. Love the colors. I love the way you navigate it. It's just awesome. I love what a vibe.
Thanks.
Love the imagery, like the icons you use in there, the colors.
You know, I don't think like we've fully come to terms with how important Mario is and where he rates as this like cultural institution. You know, as strange as that sounds. You know, like I don't think
I'm with you.
Like he is embedded deep. You know, and that might be a good thing. Probably a bad thing, but he's embedded very deep, and like we need to come to terms with that, and what better way but through art, through storytelling, through motion pictures, through comics.
He's at my core. Love, man. He's like he's on the Mount Rushmore of the Total Recall show. Mm-hmm. Mario.
The Wes Anderson Mario
that
Brothers.
Would be hilarious.
Like that's I'm looking for like the art house cinema Mario, and I don't think that Nintendo like understands that there's a market there. We want like a heady Mario movie. I wanted more psychedelia. Like when he goes to that Mushroom Kingdom, I want to be in like Sid and Marty Krofft land. I want to be transported to this like insane, crazy world. And it felt a little too safe, a little too under control. Like I want my head to explode, when I go into the Mushroom Kingdom, and it didn't, it didn't do that.
I'm seeing tracers.
Right, yeah. Like it should be like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like it should be like there should be like the separate like midnight screenings of the Super Mario movie, like that. And I don't see this being a movie that like there's midnight screenings for. It was like
they're showing the '90s Mario movie at the New Beverly.
Yeah, '90s Mario is a midnight movie. Like I wanted a little more like
they needed
one pill, one mushroom makes you larger. I wanted that.
Hell yeah! And like the. Somebody needs to do also a more leaned in like '90s action movie Mario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just room for so much stuff, and we've kind of been deprived all these decades. Because the first one was such a whiff. We kind of been deprived all this time, and in a way, like I could see Nintendo kind of looking at the movie industry, the cinema art form, and saying, that's small potatoes. Like we make a mint with the video game industry. Why would we want to mess with that like piddling bullshit? It's interesting.
We don't need the headache.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some acid next time.
Yeah, I'm not recommending that, but I'd like to watch a Mario movie and have an altered state based purely on what's going on the screen. You know?
What's Toad's name in Japan?
Kinopio. Which sounds like Pinocchio. They just took Pinocchio and like rearranged a couple of the syllables.
Dance that drink over to me.
Dance that drink over to me, Pinocchio. Dance. I want you to dance it over. Do a little step. Do a little step. A little two-step.
Dance that drink over to me. Then he like...
Dance, you varmint! I'm Tom Scioli, author of I Am Stan, a graphic biography of the legendary Stan Lee. And on Saturday, May 6th, is Free Comic Book Day, and there will be a Free Comic Book Day edition of I Am Stan, a comic book sized excerpt of the book. Ask your comics retailer to reserve a copy for you. Stuff goes fast on Free Comic Book Day.
Looking forward to that. I'm Matt Zeoli.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Tom Scioli or on Instagram at Tom_Scioli.
Follow me on Instagram at cinema_tomb.
And check out my Patreon. Go to patreon.com, search Tom Scioli. And if you join up, you'll have full access to the archive of comics and artwork that I've done, as well as new things as I post them.
Follow the show on Instagram at total_recall_show. See you in the Mushroom Kingdom.
In the Mario-verse.
In the Mario-verse.
In the mustache-verse.
The mustache-verse. Mustache v. mustache.